Okay, Lyle Stokes, Lylestokes. And how old are you?
I'm 57.
57. Now, without being specific, tell us a little about your family. If it's married, single, how many kids, etc.
I've been married for 38 years to the same lady. Three kids, two boys and a girl. Uh, you know, just worked a whole life and just kind of went on with got involved with the fishing stuff and kind of hung with it.
And your wife, does she go with you as well?
Oh yeah, every trip just about.
And who influenced you more in fishing, hunting, or the outdoors, or all of the above?
Well, probably my brother. He when my dad passed away when I was pretty young, and my brother just kind of stepped up to the plate and took his place, and he took me hunting and fishing and all the stuff that dads do. He just, he done because I don't know why, but I'm glad he did. He just he took care of me.
And what was his first name?
Mark.
Mark.
Hmm.
I think I met him one time when I come down there, didn't I?
Yeah, yeah, probably so.
In the basement.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your favorite species of fish? Top five.
Top five would be
Best one down.
flatheads, blues, channel cat, crappie, and bluegill.
Okay. And what's your personal best of all the species that you fished?
53.
How much?
53.
5'3"?
Yes. 53 and change. I don't remember exactly. It's just over 53.
And what was your favorite species of the top five?
Flatheads.
Okay. Did I ask you? Oh, you know what? I'm asking you the same questions twice. What the hell? Personal best of all species fished. You said flathead was
Hmm.
no. What's the best? Your personal best of those fish that you listed
53 and change.
on a what blue?
No, yes, blue.
What's your waters fish top three?
My favorites that I fish would be the Mississippi, the Missouri River, Truman Lake. Um,
That's top three. You don't get no more.
okay.
Um, what? I think I pretty well know the answer. What's your favorite out of lakes, rivers, or small ponds?
Oh, it'd be rivers by far.
And do you take kids out on the water or educate them or
Yes, all the above. We try to take kids out on the boat, whenever we're not in a tournament situation or something. And we've even taken grandkids out in tournaments, night tournaments. But you try to explain to them why you turn the fish loose and why some of them are good to keep and why some aren't, as if maybe one of them was deep hooked or something, or keep the small ones and let the big ones go so they can continue breeding and different things. And it's an education process with them just the same as it is everybody.
right? And you do you practice selective harvesting or what's known as CPR?
Well, personally, I haven't cleaned a fish in over 8 years, but if I choose to, I will. But my favorite eating fish would be channel cat, the small ones in the 1 to 5 pound range. But if I want to keep a fish to eat, I'll try to keep one small enough that it's not a prolific breeder and go from there. But I see no reason to kill a large fish that's going to continue to pass on the genes to the next generation or two.
So what do you do the most? Bank fish, boat fish? What's your preference?
We almost always fish out of the boat, simply because a lot of the banks in my area are steep and they're muddy, and at my age, I don't want to be falling around getting in the water and stuff. So we almost exclusively fish out of the boat.
Right. And what part of the lake or what part of the day do you like to fish? Night fish, day fish, just twilight?
Well, I like fishing at nights really well, but early morning, late in the evenings are two of my favorite times.
And what would be your favorite trip remembered?
My favorite trip remembered? Um, I would guess that my favorite trip was a tournament that Cindy and I fished in Quincy, Illinois a couple years ago. We ended up getting, I don't remember, we was in the top five. I don't remember what position it was, but we had a couple of really nice fish, a bluefin and a flathead, and it was just an outstanding day on the water. We anchored a little bit and drifted a little bit, caught fish, kind of all day long, and we just had a really good time, and not a bunch of stuff went wrong as it does a lot of times. So that's probably one of my favorite.
Right. And do you tournament fish?
Yes, we
A
fish.
lot or just
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Last year we fished in tournaments in 8 states. This year we slowed down a little bit and only fished in 5 or 6. But we probably fish tournaments 2 to 4 weeks out of the month. We don't fish them every weekend, but if there's a decent sized tournament within driving range, we always take a look at it, and we set up our schedule early in the year of the major events we want to get to, and then we fill them in with smaller tournaments throughout the year.
And who's normally your partner?
Cindy is.
Cindy. And do you have sponsors, pro staff, supporters?
We have sponsors. We have Whiskerware Apparel and Driftmaster Rod Holders, Cat River Anchors. Of course, we're sponsored by Black Horse Rods, and with the rod company, we do have a pro staff of our own. It includes Jason and Vicky Mathena and Gary Turner and Russ DeVore, Brent Riddle, several others, and we're going to be making some adjustments this
Can
year.
those names that you gave me, could you kind of spell out the last name so David can?
Yeah, Brent Riddle's name is Riddle. Mathena's is Mathenia. Let's see. Who else did I mention? I forgot now.
DeVore, we got to go.
Russ DeVore, Devore. But like I say, you can send me a message and I get you the correct spelling of somebody. But we got several people on there, and we're going to make adjustments. Like I say, this winter, and do a couple different guys and try them and see what happens in different areas.
Whatever is on your Black Horse Custom Rods website.
Hang on. Do what? Go ahead.
Your Black Horse Custom Rods website.
Yes.
Those are the current pro staff you have?
Yes, those are the ones that are current. Thank you.
Okay. I can send him there that way he could do it.
Yeah, okay.
What kind of equipment do you use as far as rods, tackle box, fishing line?
Of course, we use Black Horse rods. We mainly use Abu Garcia reels. Find them very reliable and strong. We don't have any issues with them.
Abu Garcia.
Right. We do. We use mostly Power Pro braid 80 and 100 pound test. Trilene big game leaders. We do have some other stuff that we use for leaders. Usually it's 65 pound. We make all of our own sinkers and stuff. So We don't have to do any of that. We've got a tracker boat that we fish out of, and like I say, Gripmaster rod holders. We use Cat River anchors to hold the boat when we're anchor fishing, and
Cat River.
Cat River anchors, yes.
How was that spelled? I think it was different.
C-A-T.
K-A-T?
C.
Oh, C. Okay. I thought it was spelled different. Something like that. All right. What's your favorite rig used? And it kind of quickly explain what it is.
Well, the main thing that I use is just a snell rig with a sinker that slides above the snell. I usually snell them 12 to 18 inches and put a foot of them, and the other half I don't put a float on to keep them suspended up off of the bottom. We put a swivel on tie the leader onto a swivel and then put a sliding sinker on behind it, usually a bank sinker, because they don't catch on so much stuff, and that's about it.
What hooks do you normally use?
I use mainly one hook, and it is a 2022 Eagle Claw, and they make it in 6 to, I believe it's 4 or 6 to 10-aught, and that's mainly what we use.
And where do you get most of your tackle from? I know that answer, but
we get a lot of our stuff from Bottom Water Tackle, but I also have a local guy in Columbia, Tombstone Tackle, that I buy a lot of my Eagle Claw stuff from. He has a great supply, and we get a lot of it there. And besides, Adam is just a really, really good guy, and he fishes a lot, and he lets us put tournament papers in the store and stuff.
And what's other hobbies that you got, Lyle? That's
very little
hunting and camping.
Yeah, I hunt a little bit, but not as much as I used to. And
You're old.
Yeah, that's a lot of it. But the fishing is just about it. I build rods and I catfish, and we watch some of the kids' sports, nephews and stuff that are in school playing sports. But that's about it.
Okay, and let's see. You have blackhorseCustomRods.com, Twisted Cat, or is it Twisted Cats?
Twisted Cat Outdoors.
TwistedCatOutdoors.com. I thought I couldn't remember if Cat had an S on it or not.
Nope.
But Twisted Cats, and you run the Twisted Cats tournament series.
Unless you want to do it.
So I want to make sure I'm getting all set. You got somebody to run it this year?
No, not unless you want to.
I ain't got the money to go up to all of them, or I'd do it if I had a ride all the time. Or at least a ride from your house on, I'd do it.
I'm not planning on having that many.
I figured them boys down there at Columbia Bottoms opened the door on that one, so.
They're not going to do much this year.
Let's see here. I think that's along the lines on that one. So that'll close out Lyle Stokes. Lyle Stokes' personal fishing interview. And now we will go to the Black Horse Custom Rods interview.
Okay.
And, we kind of start by doing a name. Like I said, Dave is going to transcribe all this for me, so you gotta talk to me like you'd be talking to somebody else and not me. But
okay.
What the name of the company is, how you got started, just kind of go from there.
Well, I started building custom fishing rods in 1984. Um, the reason being is I could never find one that would do what I wanted it to do, or do what the manufacturer said it would do. So I had went to a friend of mine that I knew really well. And in those days, I'd done a lot of trout fishing, and I had him build me a fly rod. And at that time, it ended up costing me over $800 to have this rod built the way I wanted it, but it ended up being what I wanted. So when I got ready for a bass rod, I was doing a little tournament bass fishing in those days, and I asked him to build me one, and he wouldn't do it, but he would tell me how to do it and hook me up with all the stuff. So that's what we done, and I got the first one done, and it turned out pretty good. I asked him to build me the second rod, and he still wouldn't do it. He didn't want to do bass rods, so I started building them, and the next thing you know, I was building them for other family members and friends, and this and that, and pretty soon it got to where it was almost a full-time job. So that's all I do now.
Right, and pretty well, what is the range of rods as far as you mentioned trout rods on up? What is the range of what you build, and what's the most common rods that are built?
Well, the most common things that I build are catfish rods. I do some crappie rods for some guys, and occasionally a bass rod for someone. I built a rod for a guy in Springfield, Illinois last summer that he took Goliath grouper fishing. It was a massive thing. I mean, he knew exactly what he wanted. He knew what blank and color. He knew everything how he wanted it. I just had to get the stuff and put it together. And as far as I know, it worked out really good. He sent me some really nice pictures that he caught fish that he caught on it. So that was the biggest thing I've ever built, of course. But the main thing I do is catfish rods, channel cat rods, blue drift rods, blue cat anchor fishing rods, flathead rods, everything in between. I do build, like I say, I build some crappie rods. I got 5 or 6 of them sitting around here now for my old buddy Ronald Workman. He had ordered them for Christmas presents, and they're getting ready to be shipped out to his house now.
What's the main difference between, let's say, a guy that wants a 2040? You might kind of explain what a 2040 is, but I think that's what it was, and a 12-foot rod.
A 2040 line class is a recommendation from the manufacturer that they recommend those two lines. Something in between the two numbers would be the best all-round line to be used with that. And since braid has become so popular, that's not necessarily true anymore, because 80-pound braid has the same diameter as, say, 20-pound monofilament. So that's completely changed the world of fishing. But the main thing you're looking for in a rod would be action, which is the top third of the blank is your action of it, whether it be light or medium heavy or extra heavy or triple X heavy or whatever it is, and it's how fast and slow the bend is in it, and how strong it is. The power rating is the bottom 2/3 of the rod, and that would go from light action to medium heavy, and heavy being the most popular with the medium heavy action. And of course you can go right up to 3X heavy and above, depending on what you're fishing for. But general all-around rod for catfishing, a good bet is a heavy action or a heavy power medium heavy action. That's just by far the most popular rod that I do.
Do you find that on the on the river, on the banks, and I notice a lot of them. Is there really a difference between let's say, one of your 2040 blanks, like I think I got a 7 foot, or a 12 foot, like you see a lot of these guys throwing? Is that overkill?
No, not for bank fishing, and the reason it's not because the longer the rod, the more castability you have. So just as an example, and this is just example only, a 7 foot rod, if you can cast it without much effort, and you can cast it say 90 feet, a 12-foot rod with the same effort into it and the same reel and everything, you ought to be able to go half that much again. So instead of the 90 feet, you ought to be able to go somewhere in the 140 to 150 foot range.
Yeah, unless you're short like me.
What's that?
Unless you're short like me, a 7's almost too much.
Yeah, I know what you mean. 7.6 is my favorite,
Right. And see, you told me how long you've been doing it. Let me think here. When you build a rod for somebody, what kind of options do they really have? Can they control the color, the style?
Oh, absolutely. When you build a rod from scratch or a custom, you can have any kind of butt cap on it. You can have any kind of grip material on it, from EVA foam to Hapalon to cord wraps, which they're the most colorful and probably one of the more popular ones. You can put cork on them. You get your choice of reel seats, whether you want an aluminum reel seat, a graphite reel seat, one with a trigger, one without a trigger, what kind of guides you want on it, which the main thing I use is stainless heavy-duty brace guides. But if you'd want something else with a ceramic insert, that's always an option. And then you can wrap them over top of the guide feed in basically any color you want. I've absolutely got hundreds of colors. And where the decal goes, and put your name on there, or a name of your fishing club, or a picture of a fish, or whatever. Then you can get into weaving. And I used to do a lot of weaving. I don't do as much anymore because it takes so long to do it, and the cost prohibits so many people from getting weaving done. But you can have nearly anything weaved into one that you want, and it's just unlimited what you can do to one.
So let's say I wanted a solid pink or a solid yellow rod or something like that. That can be done.
Oh yeah, you can. Almost all of the blanks that I build on come black. I do have a couple suppliers that handle some yellow ones. Hardly anybody makes a white blank. People think that they're available, but they're really not. They're special order. But yeah, I sand them down and can paint them and put clear on top of them, and then you wait till they dry and then get real hard. You go ahead and build them just like you would anything else.
All right. Now, on some of the logos that are floating around on the web, I see a couple that do not have the current phone number or address. Would you like to give us that?
Sure.
And if you need to spell it, just go ahead and spell it, and that way you can get it right.
Absolutely. Black Horse Rods, one word, BLACKHORSE. You just, any kind of request or information that you'd like, you can send it to me at my home address, and it's Lyle Stokes, LYLESTOKES, 1409 West Main Street, Bowling Green, Missouri, 2 words, 63334. And, I'm on the web. You can get a hold of me at blackhorserods.com. Send me an email or Facebook or anything like that, and I can get back to you just as quick as I can.
So if you're looking at a logo that says Yola, that's no good anymore.
No, that address is no longer good. We don't have that place anymore, and
What do you
yeah,
need about it, kiddo?
I do miss it.
I stood out there with James while he smoked a cigarette. I had to smoke.
Okay.
She wants to be back here.
Yeah. Well, she climbed in my legs. She's a climber. The new puppy. See,
Yeah.
this is our world.
Cool beans.
And she don't jump up into my lap. Her toenails she sticks up against me and climbs up to
Oh
the top of
man.
my leg. She's like a cat.
Dog does
Um. Oh, can you think of anything else that you'd want people to know, or
I don't know what it'd be called. We do a lot of rods, and the one thing I can tell them right now, this time of the year, with Christmas coming on, uh, you got to get your orders in early because we're almost full for Christmas now, and uh, we're taking orders now for the first of the year.
and I see that the postal service is running on Sundays now too, which is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little different, but
yeah. They're all going to be
okay.
behind all the delivery services. Um, FedEx is one of the worst. They get the stuff in Berkeley, which is the place they deliver out of in St. Louis, and if they have a delivery date, an estimated delivery date, they may have it in for 2 or 3 days and won't bring it to you until that delivery date comes
Yeah,
in, even though it's sitting there. That sets me on fire. 'Cause if I didn't need it, I wouldn't order it.
right. All right. Cut that one. Got some more time for us to finish the last one, or you just want to do it later?
No, that's up to you.
If you got the time, we'll just go ahead and
I got her, man.
go to twistedcatoutdoors.com. It's uh, message board. I guess back when I was younger and the internet was burst around, they called them bulletin boards, but
Right.
now they are message boards. And Lyle has a message board that is twistedcatoutdoors.com. twistedcatoutdoors, all one word.com. And what made you decide to open up a message board? And you can be candid.
Okay.
I will definitely print it.
I will tell you exactly how it started. We had become sponsors of a board out on the East Coast. And, well, to start with, when I joined the BOC, it only had 375 members. And I was a member of that for a couple of years, and they wanted me to be a sponsor on the board, so I agreed to. And the next thing you know, they ordered 9 rods, and I got stuck with them and never got paid on them or none of that stuff. So I went and joined another board from a guy out on the East Coast, and it was really working out good. I sponsored the website and gave a couple rods away as giveaways, and I had getting orders in. And the guy that owned it, he called me up and he said, "Hey, just send them rods out with my next order, and I'll distribute them at the tournaments." And people never got their rods, and uh, they was mad at me, and they'd already been sent. And I told him to check with this guy, and he said he never got them, which I know he did because he had signed to get them. And so we left that, and I went to the third board, and a guy got mad. I had shoulder surgery, and he got mad because I couldn't give him rods within a matter of weeks, and you can't build them that fast. So anyhow, Chris Cordia, J.D. Richardson, and Keith Atkins, they had been after me to start one of my own, and since I'd had shoulder surgery and was pretty much down for 6 months, we went ahead and opened it up with their assistants. You know, they was all on there helping me take care of it and watching it, and it went like wildfire. It just, you know, it took off, and in a matter of a couple months, we had 500 or 600 members, and it just went from there to where now we have over 2,000. But the message boards are not as active as they once was. They still do good for promoting fishing tournaments and things like that, but you know, at any one given time, there was always 15, 20 people on there, and now you just don't have the traffic with Facebook and Twitter and all the other things for them to do. There's just not as much stuff going on as there once was on the boards.
Yeah, tell Cindy I can see a reflection of her in the window.
She's not up here.
I was messing with you.
Oh, she was up here.
You looked up for a minute. I was going to say, I'm just going to mess with her head.
She brought me a homemade cinnamon roll a while ago.
She didn't bring me one.
Well, I've been waiting all afternoon on them to raise. I guess it was cold enough in the house I didn't want to do it.
So, how long ago did you open that board?
I believe, if I'm correct, 7 years ago, I think. And I'm not 100% on that, but I believe it was 7 years ago we opened up Twisted Cat Outdoors.
Yeah. I noticed that everything's kind of slowed down a little bit too over, you know, it's so easy to start an event on Facebook, and when you're running a board, it's so meticulous, and you always got to be there, and always somebody gonna cry about something.
You always got spammers and people saying stuff and raising hell about stuff that they shouldn't, and you know, like with Facebook, you don't have to worry about that because they'll take care of it themselves.
Right. I may tie in a little bit of the Black Horse with your, or not the Black Horse, but the Twisted Cats. It's not going to really be that long. I can already see that, so I'll just add it to. David just add it to his personal Lost Oaks. Okay, that way he knows what to do with it.
Okay.
I really don't know any more to have to go. Or where else to go with it. Let me stop the broadcast here and we can chat for a few minutes.
Okay.